At the edge of Sudan, where the golden breath of the Sahara softens into the endless blue of the Red Sea, a city rises from heat, salt, and resilience. Port Sudan, a name that echoes with seagulls, ship horns, and the rhythmic whisper of waves brushing against coral shores. From above, the city looks like a meeting point of worlds, the amber desert stretching endlessly inland, and the sea shimmering like polished glass under the sun. For some, Port Sudan is simply a harbor. For others, it is Sudan's lifeline to the world. But for those who stand on its shore at dawn, it is poetry in motion. The first light of morning spills across the water, revealing fishing boats rocking gently, their wooden hulls painted in blues and greens. The smell of salt and diesel mingles in the air. Fishermen untangle their nets. Tea sellers pour steaming cups of cardamom-infused chai for early risers. And somewhere in the distance, the call to prayer drifts across the city, calm, timeless, grounded, often called Sudan's gateway to the Red Sea. Port Sudan holds a global reputation as one of the region's most strategic ports. Yet beyond its commercial identity lies a place of deep culture, layered history, and unexpected beauty, a coastal city where desert traditions meet maritime dreams. This is Port Sudan, a city shaped by tides, trade, and tenacity. Port Sudan is relatively young by African standards, yet its roots are deeply intertwined with centuries of regional history. Before this modern port existed, trade flowed through the ancient harbor of Suakin, a coral-built island city just south of here. For centuries, Suakin served as a vital hub linking Africa to Arabia, its winding streets echoing with merchants' voices and camel caravans arriving from the interior. But by the early 20th century, Suakin's shallow waters could no longer accommodate the growing demands of global trade. In 1905, under Anglo-Egyptian administration, construction began on a new port, a city designed to replace Suakin and connect Sudan more efficiently to the world. Thus, Port Sudan was born. Railways were laid across the desert, linking the coast to Khartoum and beyond. Workers from different tribes and regions arrived, bringing languages, traditions, and dreams. What began as a logistical project quickly grew into a thriving urban center. Through colonial transitions, independence in 1956, and decades of political change, Port Sudan remained a constant, a crucial artery for Sudan's economy and a symbol of resilience. The past still whispers here. You see it in the old railway lines that stretch toward the horizon. You feel it in the faded colonial buildings that line certain streets. You sense it in the pride of residents who speak of their city as both a beginning and a bridge. History did not just pass through Port Sudan, it anchored itself here. To understand Port Sudan, you must walk its streets without hurry. Here, life moves with the rhythm of heat and tide. Morning begins early, before the sun grows fierce. Markets stir awake with laughter, greetings, and the rustle of fabric as vendors arrange their goods. Brightly colored garments sway in the breeze, reds, yellows, blues that mirror the vibrancy of the sea itself. The people of Port Sudan are known for their warmth. Hospitality here is not an obligation, it is instinct. A stranger is often welcomed with tea, conversation, and genuine curiosity. Arabic is widely spoken, but you will also hear the melodic tones of Baya languages, reminders of the indigenous communities who have called this region home for generations. Traditional dress blends with modern style. Men in flowing jalabias walk alongside youth in contemporary fashion, while women's scarves shimmer with intricate patterns inspired by both desert and sea. Festivals bring the city alive, with music and dance. Drums echo through neighborhoods, children run through open squares. elders gather to share stories passed down through time. Weddings are especially vibrant, nights filled with rhythmic clapping, ululations, and joyful celebration that stretches until dawn. And always, there is the sea, shaping the city's identity. Conversations often return to it. Fishermen speak of tides as if they were old friends. Families gather along the shoreline in the evenings, watching the sun melt into the water, painting the sky in shades of orange and violet. Port Sudan is a city where community still means something, where greetings are sincere, where life, despite its challenges, carries dignity and grace. Port Sudan's architecture tells a story of function meeting beauty. The port itself is the city's beating heart, towering cranes silhouetted against the sky, cargo ships arriving from distant continents, and dock workers moving with practiced precision. There is a quiet choreography here, a testament to human coordination and endurance. Beyond the harbor, the city reveals layers of character. The Corniche stretches along the coastline, offering panoramic views of the Red Sea. Couples stroll hand in hand. Vendors sell roasted peanuts and sweet pastries. The evening breeze brings relief from the day's heat. A short journey south leads to Swaken Island, a hauntingly beautiful relic of the past. Coral stone buildings stand in dignified decay, their intricate carvings whispering stories of merchants, pilgrims, and travelers who once passed through these gates. Walking here feels like stepping into a forgotten chapter of history. Not far from the city lies one of Sudan's natural treasures, the Sengeneb Marine National Park. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, beneath the surface of its waters lies a world of extraordinary coral reefs, vibrant marine life, and crystal-clear visibility that draws divers from around the globe. Port Sudan may not be filled with towering skyscrapers, but its landmarks carry depth, reminders of heritage, resilience, and natural wonder. Port Sudan is more than a coastal city. It is Sudan's economic lifeline. The port handles the majority of the nation's maritime trade. The steady arrival of ships ensures the flow of goods, fuel, and resources vital to the country's stability. Warehouses, shipping yards, and transportation networks create employment for thousands. Fishing remains an essential industry, providing livelihoods for many families. Early mornings at the docks reveal fresh catches glistening under the sun. Tuna, snapper, shrimp, destined for markets and kitchens across the region. In recent years, small businesses and local entrepreneurs have emerged, blending tradition with modern ideas. Cafes with Wi-Fi now stand alongside traditional tea houses. Young professionals discuss innovation while sipping strong Sudanese coffee. The city's strength lies in adaptability. Port Sudan has learned to balance heritage with progress, to move forward without forgetting where it began. Few cities in the world experience such a dramatic meeting of landscapes. To the west, the desert stretches endlessly, its dunes shifting with the wind like waves frozen in time. To the east, the Red Sea glows with impossible shades of blue, hiding coral gardens beneath its surface. The climate is intense. Summers can be scorching, with temperatures soaring under cloudless skies. Yet the evenings offer relief. The sea breeze carries coolness, and the stars appear brighter here, unchallenged by city lights. Locals often escape to the shoreline for quiet reflection. Children play barefoot in the sand. Fishermen mend their nets while watching the horizon. Nature is not separate from life here. It is woven into daily existence. Sunrises in Port Sudan are unforgettable. The first rays of light shimmer across the water, painting the city in gold. For a moment, everything feels still, balanced, infinite. Food in Port Sudan tells its own story, one of trade, tradition, and cultural fusion. The scent of grilled fish drifts through coastal neighborhoods, seasoned with spices that reflect African and Middle Eastern influences. Fresh seafood is a highlight, often served with bread, salads, and tangy sauces. Street vendors sell falafel, lentil stews, and warm pastries. Tea culture thrives here. Glass cups clink together as conversations flow, flavored with cardamom, ginger, or mint. Visitors quickly learn that meals are more than nourishment. They are moments of connection. Sharing food is a gesture of respect and friendship. A must-try experience? Sitting at a seaside buffet, tasting freshly caught fish while watching boats glide across the horizon. It is simple, authentic, unforgettable. The best time to visit Port Sudan is between November and March, when temperatures are milder and the sea is calm. A perfect day might begin with sunrise at the Corniche, followed by a boat trip to nearby reefs for snorkeling. Afternoon brings exploration of markets, filled with textiles, spices, and handmade crafts. Evening invites reflection, watching the sun dip into the sea as the city lights flicker. Hidden gems exist for those who wander. Small cafes where elders play board games. Port Sudan does not overwhelm. Of coral formations believed to hold protective spirits, and of treasures lost beneath the waves. One popular tale tells of a fisherman who followed a mysterious light across the sea, only to discover a hidden reef glowing under moonlight, a place locals now consider sacred. These stories may blur the line between myth and memory, but they add to the city's charm, reminding us that imagination is part of cultural identity. Port Sudan is not a city that demands attention. It earns it through resilience, through warmth, through the gentle rhythm of waves that have touched its shores for centuries. Here, past and present coexist. The desert teaches endurance, the sea offers hope, and the people carry forward a legacy of hospitality that defines the city's soul. As the sun sets for the final time in our journey, the harbor lights glow softly, ships prepare for distant voyages, and the call to prayer echoes once more across the water. Port Sudan remains steady, enduring, welcoming, a reminder that even in the harshest climates, beauty finds a way to thrive. And for those who visit, the city leaves behind something subtle yet lasting, a sense of connection to history, to humanity, and to the timeless dialogue between land and sea. Port Sudan is not just a destination, it is an experience, a story waiting to be heard, and, perhaps, one day, walked in person.